Hello everyone, Krydax here, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program RP-1. We are ready, well, almost ready, to get our V2 rocket on, or our A4 engine. I don't really know what to call it, but our downrange rocket is ready to go. The problem is we don't have a launch complex for it, so we're going to be spending a lot of money. This bad boy is going to be expensive. I'm curious what it says. Whoa. Oh, these are internal RCS. Okay. I'm curious what it says about the A4. What was it used for? It was used on the V2. Okay, so calling this a V2 is not crazy. That is accurate. Cool. All right, so we've got our V2 rocket, and it looks pretty V2-y. I could even color it green if we really wanted to kind of go a little bit more in the V2 rocket direction. But we'll leave it metallic. Okay, and I want to change when you save these, where's the description show up? Does it show up here? See, that's the thing I wish you could click on it and it would pull up the description. But it doesn't. So that makes the description feel a little bit less purposeful. Anyway, so yeah, let's check out tooling. Tooling's gonna be not cheap. You can see, wait, high pressure. Oh, wow. The tooling cost for our sounding payload is not cheap. Huh. Do you guys think we should have put the sounding payload in a cylinder? And then we can just put a nose cone on the front? Is there some sort of procedural nose cone? Yeah. Like, how expensive is a procedural nose cone? That's the same size. Diameter 1.8, length, I'll just say 3. Let's see, procedural nose cone, 1,400 tooling cost. Whereas this is 8,000. Yeah, that's a pretty huge difference. So I'm thinking I would like to change. See, I wish I understood more about this game, because what I'm curious about is if you change the shape, because this is saying 1.8 meter by 1.8 meter. If we tool this, will it also tool a 1.8 meter by 1.8 meter cylinder? Or is it only tooling the smooth cone shape? I'm gonna trust that it's also tooling cylinders. We're just gonna go for it. Let's do it. What's the worst thing that happens? We go broke? Look, we're here to experiment. So now the question is, if I change this to a cylinder and then I go to diameter 1.8, tooling cost is pretty small. And then if I go to 1.8, will the tooling cost go to 0? It does. Okay, so it supports all shapes in the 1.8 by 1.8 amount. And our sounding payload is back to 500, so that's correct. So now we need a new LC. Now this is gonna be, shall we call it the V2 complex? V2. 2? So the V2 complex. Maximum tonnage. I kind of want this to be the very bottom end. So we want the minimum to be 13. So the maximum can be 18. And then that gives us kind of a good range. The size, 5x5 is good, but the height, we want a lot more height possibility. Let's go up to 20 meters. That does make it more expensive. And that's going to take an extra 10 days to construct. Costs an extra 3,000 funds, but that'll let us launch things with multiple stages on top. And I think that's pretty important for the later downrange contracts. I'm doing a little bit of planning based on what I've learned just from the few hours I've played. After we do the next couple missions, I'm going to run out of that. I won't have any more knowledge to pull on. But for this, I think that's good. And then resource-wise, it's also tricky because... What is HTP? Is that what's in here? Yeah. So... Ethanol 75. It's enough for both. I'm wondering if... Whoa. I didn't do it. Oh. Back. This does not have click-through blocker. I will say. I'm wondering if I should put... preemptively. Okay, hold on. Save, open, Carmen line, merge. And then I do new LC. And it doesn't have... I guess I need to attach it somewhere. Okay, there we go. Now it has Urfna and Anfa, right? And that only changes things. What are we doing? 20, 20. No, I can't do 20. 18? 18 tons. So yeah, so the Urfna 250 only changes yearly upkeep by a few. And the cost. And then we won't have to retool it or revamp it later if we already have the Urfna and the Anfa. Why don't we have the Anfa? 22. Why did that not get added? Weird. Okay. We want to call this the V2 complex. How much does it cost to go to like 6 by 6? Not that much, so I'll give myself that flexibility. I doubt we're gonna get that wide, but that gives us a 2 meter wiggle room. Max engineers 88. What determines that? Is it the tonnage? It's the tonnage. Okay. Alright, let's do it. Build. So, we'll get this gone. Save. We did tool everything, right? Yeah. Go ahead and leave. And now we're gonna have to hire about 1 million engineers when that pad is done, or the complex is done. Yikes. And that's not done till June. That's 3 months away. So what can I do until then? The contracts you can ditch as desired. So could I do this one sooner? Suborbital trajectory. That's just all we need. All we need is the sounding rocket with a parachute. That's literally it. So let's open the Ep.1 Carmen line, and we're gonna make this the Ep.2 returner. And all we got to do is add a little thing they call a parachute, which is down here. And we even get the stack parachute. can't I? Oh, previous size. There we go. Whoa! Too big. Oh, perfect. Okay. So 0.3 is the smallest it gets, so that was convenient. And then we need to plug that back in. We need to unhook this so that it knows that this is the rocket that it's calculating for. And then we want to say, as far as I understand, spare chutes don't do anything. If we cut that down to 0, the mass is still going to be 010 and 26.2. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. I asked someone on the Discord and they said it didn't do anything, and I've never understood it to do anything. Must go down to deploy is definitely something we want on. And now it's got 2 different parachutes. So we want main, we want dry mass, we want touchdown speed of 5, because sometimes 6 blows stuff up, I've found. And we have 2 parachutes used. And it's going to be going pretty slow. So we'll pre-deploy at 3,000, but then we're not going to actually deploy till like 400. And then the deployment speed of 6 seconds is fine, because we'll be going slower at that point. And now we need to copy those settings here. So we do 5, altitude of 3,000 and 400. And then this is 2 parachutes used. 2 parachutes used, apply settings. And you hit it a few times because it sees its own mass. And so obviously, if it sees its own mass and then you hit apply and then its mass changes, it now has calculated for the wrong mass. And so you hit apply again, and you know, after a few clicks, it gets pretty much exactly what it needs to be. And that's it. That's literally it. Just to guarantee that we get over 4, I do probably need to go a little longer. Is that gonna mess with tooling though? Aha. I can get a few more delta V out of this without retooling it. How far can we go? 3.3 meters. All right. And that does increase the chance of failure, but if it fails at the end, it fails at the end, right? Like, it's not going to increase. It's hard to describe. It will almost certainly get me more delta V, not less. Technically, if it fails early enough in the later stages, that does mean I got less delta V out of that part, but like, because there's more delta V total, most of the time we're going to be okay. And we even have some data units now. So now the mean time before failure is higher than it was before, because we have 778 flight data. Anyway, we also need to configure this to do that, and then the final stage, and then the parachute can go on the same stage. It won't actually open because it'll be going, it'll be going up. So all that works. Save, we'll simulate. It shouldn't be a problem. I'm imagining this is going to be a one and done. But I certainly have made mistakes before. Kerbal Space Program is the game of mistakes. So let's see what actually happens here. And then it gives you that message, annoyingly, constantly. We'll hyperspeed here. Did our engine fail and give us low thrust? Because I'm only at 100 here. There's no way the parachute's that heavy, right? Maybe there is. Maybe the parachute's heavier than I thought it was. Maybe I have underestimated. Uh-oh, we got a little wiggle. Maybe I underestimated the weight of the parachute. Oh. Okay. Don't know what happened there. I think that was a hyperspeed bug, though. Hyperspeed is supposed to have 100% physics accuracy, I thought. Isn't lower more accurate? I think it is. Let's try 3 and see what happens. I'm actually less sure now. Anyway, this should work. Let's try it again. Engage autopilot. What is happening? What have I done? Are my autopilot settings off? Something's going wrong. Oh, drop solids early went to 1 second. How did that get to 1 second? We had that on like 0.02. That's the problem. Okay. Well, that fixes that. There we go. And then we only got to 105. You know, maybe the parachute's way heavier than I thought it was. I did not foresee this issue. Have we finished our first research yet? I don't think we have, right? We can see it here. No, because the materials science will give us aluminum tanks, which will get, it'll make this easy. But we haven't gotten close to finishing a research yet. Okay, so anyway, this thing is 8 kilograms. I don't think that would make that big of a difference. We've already got 51 here and 68 dry mass here. Another 8 kilograms shouldn't make that big of a difference, right? Total delta V is, we'll say 1805. Without the parachute, it's 1868. I guess that's enough of a difference. That is 50 delta V. Huh. Okay. So then that means we're gonna use some little boosties here. We're gonna get some R103s going, I think. So we could help the Tiny Tim out. That's option number 1. What if I just add 3 of these? And we stage them together. We get 243 versus 216. What if I do 6 of them? That gets us 264. So that's another 48 delta V. They only cost 4 apiece. I don't need to tool them. As long as the TWR doesn't tear me apart, I think this might be worth it. And their run times are pretty similar. Though I am curious, I'm curious about one thing. I'm reducing that for a reason, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna simulate if MechJeb has a booster stage that has 2 different types of boosters, is it gonna drop based on the first booster that finishes or the second? So we're gonna see, does it drop it before the Tiny Tim is burnt out, is basically what I'm curious about. Looks like it doesn't even matter because I forgot. Check yo staging, as Scott Manley would say. Forgot this to be in the right thing. All right, engage autopilot. That all happens so fast. This is maybe a bad idea. I mean, How did I get less far this time? That doesn't make sense. I guess we weren't going straight up. I could always spin stabilize. Let's try spinning. That's a good trick. I think we're gonna have to do 2 stages here. Probably won't change that much. Everything was just so tight on this. With 0 upgrades, it's gonna be tricky. Maybe I could do radial decouplers. Wow, there's some construction going on in the next room. Sounds like. Hope you guys can't hear that. It's like a drill in the wall or something. What if I did something like this? Wait, really? That's more delta V than I was thinking I'd get. That could actually be it. This could be the play. The downside that we are about to experience is... We'll do fine adjust here. And I'm gonna spin stabilize this. That's more than I want to do. Wait, why is... There we go. No, that's still too much. Okay. Let's turn off snapping and just do the tiniest amount possible. The problem is now going to be igniting the aerobie. So what I might do... We could just ignite the aerobie when we ignite the Tiny Tim. Potentially. If it fails to ignite with this method. But yeah, I probably needed another tech level before attempting this contract. I get really locked into trying to do something without more tech than I have, but if we just waited for another piece of tech, we could easily do this. Yeah, failed to ignite. So let's switch our staging to this. And hopefully the aerobie won't burn off the decoupler. Didn't mean to hit launch, I meant to hit simulate. Because if the aerobie's on for too long, it might destroy something. Alright, let's try it. Engage. Okay. We're aimed almost perfectly straight up. We are really spinning. And I think that was a hyperwarp problem. Again, I thought the whole point of hyperwarp was a lossless physics. So that says danger. Does that mean it's more accurate or less accurate? That's what I'm not sure about. I apologize for how loud this is, by the way. Okay, it's definitely more accurate on 1, because that just did awful things. This is going to be a lot of learning in this YouTube series. I appreciate you guys. Maximum delta time. think if I make that lower, that'll make it better. I really wish I knew what I was doing. Also, can I change the sound settings here? No. Not really an easy way to make this quieter. I apologize for how loud these are. Cover your ears! I mean, I can just turn the volume down a little bit. Alright. What am I doing? Engage autopilot. Alright, yeah, that seems to be a little better. Oh, it does spin its wings off. Wow. Okay. So the spin is way too much. How can I make it less? Position debug. Let's see. Part position info. What am I looking at? Local rotation? No. Attached rotation? I forget which number it is that I'm caring about here. Alright, so this one... I guess we're looking at the attachment rotation here. So like if I make that 0.006, you know, maybe that'll be fine. Make it as tiny as I can. And by the way I did that is you pull the mouse out really far, and then moving the mouse has a much smaller effect on, you know, the actual rotation. So that'd be just enough to get some spinning going, but not so much that it like destroys us. Because we really don't need much spin at all. Even just a couple, you know, like 1 rotation per second would be enough to keep our prograde from getting too out of whack. This is faster than we need it to be. Hyper warp it though. I'm impatient. 113 is it? I wonder if hyper warp changes your apoapsis. Like, is it breaking my physics? Let's try it without hyper warp and see what we get. Engine failure. Let's not do that. Maybe if I zoom out, it won't be as loud. Oh. Actually true. Alright, come on, baby. Do your thing. Get to 140 kilometers. I might just need to wait until we get a research. I mean, I could add more boosters, right? That's always an option. I'm curious how accurate this aerodynamic model is. Like, is the fact that I'm spinning adding to my drag losses? I'm wondering if it is. Oh no, I didn't notice. We lost performance. I should turn off failures for this test. I just want to see if it makes it high enough is all. Alright, zoom out. The other method that could work is just hoping to get lucky with a long burn time on the aerobie. But that's risky, of course. But that could work. Alright, what do we got? Apo is 50. I don't think we're gonna make it. But most of the DV comes from the end, the last few seconds. Yeah, 113. Okay, well that's good. The hyperwarp got us the same result. Yeah. What's the way forward here? What's the way forward here? I really want this to work. What are these other engines? Could I use... The aerobie's ISP is just 195 to 226. What's this one? Little... it's about the same, I guess. I feel like I'm missing something. Is this heavier than it should be? I don't think so. As long as we didn't, yeah. I guess communication. Where's that? No, we've got it as light as it can be. And we're already... Oh, we're only... Wait. We're only 3 seconds over? Because we get 52 seconds. Oh, let's go a little further over the edge here. $62 seconds? 61 seconds? Yeah, let's go with 61 seconds. And then... we'll try this whole situation. See if that helps. Because we just need a little bit more of a punch. Of course, the aerobie failed to ignite. Which, I gotta say, there's a decent chance of that happening too. You know what? I'm gonna pull the plug. Knowing when to quit is a strength, I think. I think we need to stop this madness. It's 2 in a row that the aerobie failed to ignite. Yeah, that's gonna keep happening too. Now, what I could do is try a different sounding rocket rather than the aerobie. So let's try one of these other engines. So the next lightest engine is the ORM-65, which is 15 kilograms instead of 8. It's about the same size. And is it a high pressure? I haven't read anything about it yet. Yeah, pressure fed, ullage. or ullage. I need to look up how to say that. So we will keep our high pressure steel fuselage. Tank. Fill the ORM 65. Whoa. Wait, what? Something's not adding up here. Rated burn time is 80, but why is the delta V so small? What am I missing? Am I missing something? What is this? Soviet rocket engine. Cruise missile modified for a rocket aircraft. Huh. Max thrust. TWR of 12? Oh. Wait, what? This thing sucks. Its TWR is terrible. Its thrust is terrible. Oh, okay. We're not using that. Wow. Oh, that thing sucks. Okay. Never mind. Ditch that. This has TWRs that are more the types that we're looking for. What is this? The U-1250. Developed in response to the American Aerobee. Is it better? It's twice as heavy, but it also has more thrust. Its ISP is slightly better than the Aerobee, so we might be able to make this work. And its burn time is 56. Oh, sweet. More thrust for 56 seconds? Okay, yeah, that's way better. Because we're going to be able to get, you know, basically you multiply the thrust times the burn time, and that gives you a total force that you get to exert. And this is obviously drag factors into that, but this is going to be way better. Is it high pressure? It is pressure fed. Okay. So there we go. So that's only 30 seconds. And we can go up to, oh, that's a long boy. Maybe too long. I wonder if this is going to introduce some new instability to the whole situation, but how many seconds can I safely do? 61 and change. That gets me 2120. Delta V. Vacuum. And what was it before? I already forgot what it was before. But let's ditch these. Oh, you know what I haven't checked? Hold on. Where can this light... Can this ignite anywhere? Yeah. Some of them need to be ignited on the launch pad, like the A4. And if you're not paying attention to that, you will be screwed. But it says ignitions remaining ground support clamps. You can't light those midair. But this one you can light midair. Alright, we're gonna ditch the 103s. We're gonna try this. Parachutes might be a little underserving because they were designed for the shorter fuel tank. But it should be within reason. Yeah, let's try this bad boy and see what happens. It's so long. The snoot. Whoop the snoot. It is a long rocket right there. Alright. Uh-oh. We're starting to wobble a little bit. But I'm pretty sure this one's gonna make it. It's got so much more thrust. And for more time. Now, the TWR was about the same, So that means we needed to carry more fuel to fuel it, right? So like overall, but it should still result in a better delta V, I think. 60,000. $90,000, 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 54. All right, yes, we made it. Okay. Hyperspeed. Let's see if we survive re-entry. Oh my gosh. It's so unstable. It's wanting to rotate around the long axis. It's really crazy. At some point, we will have enough atmosphere that it'll start to point downwards again. And that point is... Let's just do regular time warp here. Uh-oh. Wasn't expecting that. We might be okay, though. I think it's gonna slow down enough that it'll just wobble its way to the ground. This is all according to plan. My gosh. This is crazy. It's taking forever to fall to the ground. Come on. Barely even need a parachute. Alright, there's the slowdown chutes. Perfect. 6 second surface speed, 6 meters a second. Might be a little fast. But, I mean, finish the contract. So, I'm gonna say it's good enough. Let's try it. Let's try it. Tooling wise, we need to tool the new long boy tank. Is that even worth it? Yeah, probably. I mean, it saves 50 credits of salary and gets it to me 5 days earlier as well, which is important. So, and it saves 20 credits here, so it's really 70 credits of savings. Not to mention, does the launch cost change? Yeah, another couple credits there. You know, it adds up. So it's really only costing me maybe about 300 to tool it. And just getting things done faster is worth money. So the aerobie returner shall be... No! We forgot all the things. LC modified. The height limit is currently 10. Shoot. Okay, think. How do we fix this? That's not part of the height. I could strap 2 Tiny Tims to the side instead. And that would actually work. That's not the worst idea I've ever had. It's certainly an idea. Alright, hold on. Get rid of you. You go on there. I don't know why the way these attach is not radially by default. But the top of it, I guess they're not really built for radial decoupling, but so what? Alright. Okay. That does pose a little bit of an issue with the whatchamacallits. The fins. Okay, that works. Alright. Now, I don't know if it's even worth making those aerodynamic. Might not be. Now we have to test this again. So we light the U1250 at the same time that we decouple. And then we do that. Okay. Let's try this. And it should be even better now that we have more. We have 2 Tiny Tims. That's more delta V. So this should work even better. Maybe I should increase the strength of the fins so they don't break off. Alright. Hyperwarp this. Ah, we lost the engine there. What's the mean time before failure on this thing? We're burning it for 62 seconds, and the MTBF is 6 minutes. Okay, so about 1 in 6 still. Except we've now had 2 failures in a row. I guess the ignition chance, we might need to hot stage it, because we might be going a little too fast here for our own good. So look at the ignition chance here. Yeah, it's like down to 50% by the time. So what we want to do then is hot stage before we decouple. So here. And if we do support hot staging on this, we can even make it go 2 seconds early. And then that makes it, or even 3 seconds early, basically guarantees it'll light. Let's go lead time 3 seconds here. There we go. Perfect. All right, speed things up here. More than enough apoapsis. To the point where I could make this a little shorter if I wanted to. It's gonna get the wobbles and the jitters. Alright, let's do regular on rails time warp and then back to hyperspeed time warp. So funny to me. I'll try increasing their strength a little bit, and we'll test it one more time. Partially because this just takes forever. It does look funny, though. It's like a pencil. Take a little screenshot here. Like a little, it really looks like the pencil. I might call it the pencil. But we had another success, so that's good news. So what did I say I was gonna do? Increase the strength of the fins a little bit. there at 15. My delta V is 2372. It goes down to, if I go to 25, 2355. It steals about 20 delta V. I don't think that'll mess up my mission, so let's try it. This time we'll only test up to apoapsis. Though, hold on, I need to test the whole thing, because if the fins survive, then that means we might... we might have a different profile falling. We will have a different profile falling. Ah, lost power again. And then if that's what happens, we could end up slamming into the ground because the parachutes don't open fast enough because it's way more aerodynamic with the fins at the back. So I need a check for that. So hopefully the engine lives this time. Okay. The engine lived, apoapsis is totally fine. Hyperspeed to 140. And check mark, and then we regular speed, and then we're back to 140, and then we hyperspeed. And now last time the fins broke off around, what was it, about 50 kilometers, 40 kilometers? Okay, they're not breaking off this time. They are trying to turn the ship around. They're thinking about breaking off. They're thinking about it, but now I'm going too slow. So you guys already know this probably if you're watching this episode. Maybe you don't, but the dry center of mass is probably not too far from the center of lift, which is why it took so long to get this thing pointed down. Yeah, and that's what I was worried about. So we need to change... What is it? 2355. Remember that number. 2355. Need to edit the parachute to pop open a little bit sooner. Let's do 800 this time. Why is it so much heavier? It got like a lot heavier. I guess the ending mass is a lot more now because the engine itself. You know what I could do? I could also put a decoupler on the engine. Because that thing's 16 kilograms. And now our dry tank is a lot heavier too. I'm gonna shorten it just by a smidgen. Does that need me to tool? No. So between all that, maybe we'll be fine. Okay. And we stage those together, and then we hot stage. And then we save. Did my delta V go up? I need to start taking pictures of what that is. I already forgot what it is. Simulate. Oh, I should have turned off part failures. We already know what the failures are, and if they fail, it just means I have to restart again. Go for it. Pencil head is gonna make it 166. Okay, so we are getting a little bit less than before with the parachute change. And I guess I made the fuel tank a tiny bit shorter, so we have a tiny bit less delta V from that as well. Okay, get back into the atmosphere. Around 50 kilometers, things start happening. Oh, they broke off this time. Maybe because of hyperwarp? Huh. Interesting. Well, that's really unhelpful. I need it to do the same thing every time. And I keep thinking hyperwarp is fine, but maybe I should stop using it. Let's go up to 0.3 or even 0.35. That loses another 10 delta V. That's not going to matter for, you know, the mission. We should finish the mission either way. As long as we don't have a failure. Yeah, 167. And now I don't think we'll have to worry about them breaking. All right. So around 50,000, it should slow down. Maybe it's more 40,000. There we go. Okay, yeah, see, it's going so much faster now that it's pointed down. There we go. All right, and then it just keeps on spinning. Everything's spinning. Hyperwarp. I mean, I don't need it. I don't need to finish that. I know that's going to land safely. All right, let's do it. Successful Ep.2 returner. I really can't call it the Ep anymore because it's a different engine, but that's fine. That is fine. Save. We will need to modify the launch complex still for the resources. Wait, no. Set the LC stats to support only the current vessel. Match the currently existing. Okay, I don't want either. I think just when you click modify, it automatically adds the right resources. Yeah. The AK-20 and the kerosene. And the maximum tonnage is up to 2. Right? Yeah, it was at 1-0. Now it's changing to 2-1. Okay. So that's gonna take 9 days. And I don't like the minimum tonnage of 1. I didn't realize that until just now. That's the cost of the Tiny Tim radial version. I mean, it's kind of annoying that you can't have 0 to 2 tons. It has to be 1 to 2 or 0 to 1. Because then we won't be able to launch the basic aerobies anymore because they're going to be under a ton. That's really annoying. How do I feel about this then? I think it's fine. I mean, it's only 9. I'm gonna make my money back. I'm gonna make my money back. And we need to finish renovating now. Wait. Okay. So now we've got our next mission on the books. So little guys is gonna take 9 days, so we'll warp to complete that. What's our budget look like these days? We're hemorrhaging money. because of construction on the V2 complex. That's not good. I guess I could work slower if we really are about to go broke. Maybe I shouldn't have bought 40 researchers from the beginning. Maybe that was too much. Anyway, let's build the thing. Build that bus. And then our little guy's launch complex, we'll need to build it and roll it out, which is going to take... What? 90 days? Hold on. What? What's that now? 90 days? Hold up, did I forget to tool something? Why is this 90 days? Why is this 90 days? What is going on? I mean, I guess... it's a little more expensive, so that takes more time. Oh, I think I know what it is. And I mean, those are gonna... oh, the Tiny Tims are 36. So that's actually a huge part of the cost of this. And we need 8 more engineers. We now have a max of 18. That's part of the problem too. Yeah, 17, I guess. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that's a little better. Now that puts it at 53 days. I guess that's taking longer than I thought it would. I was thinking it'd be closer to like the 30 days that the aerobie took. But this is a much larger thing. Okay. So 520 it is. And there goes my money. Their efficiency is going up, though. I want to see if it goes down to 519. Still no 519. Ah, not quite. It's 520 even when they finished it. All right, the aerobie returner is ready. We're about to finish our next mission, assuming no failures. Our budget is now still at negative 56, which is bad. I might have to fire some researchers. I don't know. I think I went too ham on research too soon. Okay. Nothing for it. I mean, all we need is ascent guidance. Make sure it's got the same settings it did before. And engage autopilot. Hit space and hope nothing goes wrong. Quick save. Alright, everything lit. We might do it. I can definitely hyperspeed this part. And now we just need a save for turn. Sweet. Measure twice, cut once. Oh, and the other good part about this is we get telemetry. So, if I can click on this stupid thing. You know what I can do is pause it. Shift U. There we go. So now we're in high space, in space high, and that's getting us new data on things, which is wonderful. And yeah, now we just need to return home safely, so we should be good to go with that. I also need to keep track of electric charge. 100 is not going to be enough for missions that go much farther than this. All right, and then can hyperspeed. I'm going to slow it down when we hit 50K or even 60K. Just because I don't want to see this thing tear itself in half. Yep, there it goes. It'll do a few loop-de-loops. Before it slows down enough. $22,000. All right, I should be good to hyperwarp a bit longer. There we go. And hopefully the parachutes work. Looks like they are. Hyperwarp again. Oh, I had the parachutes set incorrectly. No wonder they got too heavy. 3.6, yeah, we should be going 5 meters a second. I must have not typed in the 2 parachutes part of the entry. Or something. But hey, our second successful mission. Ta-da! Okay, hyperwarp, please turn off. Hide the impact marker. Sweet! Recover the vessel, and we get... What do we get for that? We even get extra science for that? Beautiful. Okay. Get a few funds back, and now... Our subsidy should be higher, so our budget should suck a little bit less. Maybe. I guess it's not that different. Yeah. Oh, it's because they're reconditioning the complex. Okay. No, my budget's still negative 50 a day. That's not good. What am I supposed to do about that? Well, when the V2 complex is done, I mean, that's what I'm spending most of my money on. We're spending 130 a day on the V2 complex. So when that's done, we'll be in the green again. And it's only got 25 days left. So let's go ahead and warp to that. I don't think there's anything else we need to do. And then we'll be able to do this quest, which will get us 42 reputation, which should increase our subsidy by a good amount. Oh, I just realized something. LOL. We still have to build the whole V2 rocket, which is going to take another forever. Oh, wow. How much is it gonna take us? I'm gonna delete these because they're just getting in my way. Also, that's that one, so there we go. Okay. So this bad boy building in the V2 complex, we have no engineers yet. Right. If we had max engineers, it would take 148 days? What? Oh no. This is gonna take forever. Now, their efficiency will increase of course, so that will help. You know, they do get up to 25% eventually, and that would build 2.5 times faster than this. So it won't be that long actually. But yeah, I mean, I need this contract, so we're just gonna do it. I already did tooling, right? Yeah, we already did tooling for this. Okay. So that's being built. And then science-wise, we're still a ways away, 70 days from completing better fuel tanks. And now that that's being built, our budget is... Oh, we don't have any staff. Right. There's literally nobody at the V2 complex. Oh my god. I can't afford anything. Well, we don't need anybody at the little guys. Also, if I hire an engineer, how much does that cost me? Is that 4 per engineer? Or 0.4 per unassigned engineer? Yeah, looks like it. Okay. Or idle, I should say idle engineer, not unassigned necessarily, but yeah, and then the balance when I assign the engineer, I guess it's based on their build points, probably more. I don't know if their salary is fixed. I'm actually curious. I guess we'll have to test over time, but it looks like their salary might be almost exactly 1 unit. It's slightly more than 1 unit, like maybe 1.1 or 1.2 when they go from being idle to working. And we'll just see if that remains consistent over time. Oh, it literally shows it right here, salary and facilities. So the salary is $375 per year, which is, yeah, slightly more than 1 per day. I was right. Anyway, currently the rocket's gonna take over a year to complete. That's not good. But our balance is positive, so I'm gonna spend all my money on hiring engineers. And then, yeah, I think we're just gonna have to wait for some money to flow in, take a couple months off here. Because what are we... So what's available? Because we could always do... Maybe I should try to figure this one out. 75 units of sounding payload. I know we need to be done with this episode because we're already 1 hour and 15 minutes in, but I'm just going to test real quick if our old Aerobie with no upgrades can accomplish this already. Like, is this just an easy mission, or is there something more to it? So all we got to do is procedural tank, diameter 0.3, high pressure, steel fuselage, tank UI show, go to the bottom, select sounding payload. And we needed how many units? 75 units. Ooh, that's a lot. Okay. Hold on, I can just do this. 75 units. Okay. So that is maybe not gonna work, but we'll try it. We'll try it. I mean, there's no reason to not try this. There's no reason to not try this. But yeah, 55 extra kilograms is probably not gonna work. So this is aerobie 3. Payload lifter. Save. Simulate. Because it only needs to get to 80 kilometers. Granted, the last one needed to get to 100. That's not that much of a difference. This is probably not going to work. Probably not going to work. Let's see what our Epo gets to. Oh! Well, not bad. We could... Yeah, we're gonna run into the same issues we already had. I mean, we got no new tech. This is already max burning the aerobie. It's hard to do a double. The only thing that I think that's worth trying is a double Tiny Tim. See if that gets us enough of a punch. I doubt it will. But let's try it. You know what? I'm gonna leave those wings the way they are. You know, if you forget to hit engage autopilot, the autopilot won't work. I know. You're learning all sorts of things on this channel. Let me tell you. We're real smart. Alright, maybe this works. This works. It's real close. It's real close. Look at that, 78.8. So I'm thinking if we take a smidge of a risk and we just burn the aerobie a bit longer, that we can get there. So let's go to 58 seconds. 58.5 seconds. Let's see if this gets there. And now we're a whole, that is 6 seconds over the rated burn time, so we're getting into increased chance of failure territory. Engage autopilot. Okay. Died. That was just a normal death. That was not even because I burned it too long. Try again. Boom. That'll do it. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Okay, so the reason this is useful is that's going to give us a repeatable version of a contract that we can keep doing to keep our reputation up during this whole program. Now the problem is it can't be built at Little Guys. Can it? I need it to be 80 kilograms heavier. how can I do that? How heavy is this whole thing? 291. There's no way I'm going to make that 80 kilograms heavier. So the way to do it... to add 4 R103s? Just because we can? This is hilarious. I just have to get to 1 ton. I could even... no, I can't have them be empty. I was gonna say I could have them be empty. How expensive are these? Another 4 each. Increase my cost by a decent bit. We need to make sure this thing still works. It's possible that the queue gets too high now. Also, these need to be a little bit higher up on the sides. This is kind of hilarious. All of that's 1 stage. Thank you very much. Save. Simulate. But yeah, it has to be 1 ton for us to be able to launch it at the little guys complex. And we had to change the little guys complex for the one that has the parachute. So it's all just a mess. It's a hot mess. Whoa. Hot staging, or not hot staging. Really? Solids early is not that early. Is that because it's doing the thing where it's basing it on the R103s instead? Let's go slow-mo here. The R103s burn for longer than the Tiny Tims, it looks like. So it's dropping... it's dropping them as soon as the Tiny Tims are done, and the R103s are still not done. So... how do I fix this? It's funny because it says the rated burn time of the R103s is shorter, but their thrust curves must be different. So let's decrease these down to 513 apiece. No, that gets me to 999. Okay, we'll go to 577 apiece. That'll shorten their burn times a little bit. This is ridiculous. And then I'm hopeful that this works a little better. Yeah, I wish it would drop solids based on the least burning, not the most burning. But that, I think, is gonna work okay. Let's just make sure we still get to the 80. Oh yeah, easily. Easily. In fact, I could even reduce my chance of failure a little bit if I wanted to, by going a bit shorter on the time. Or 58.5, I could go down to 56.5. All right, cool. So the Aerobie 3 payload lifter can now be built at Little Guys. Maybe. If I have enough stuff. What? Oh, that needed to be slightly longer. Right. All right, there we go. 1,000 kilograms. On the dot. Okay, it's not on the dot. It needs to be slightly above the dot. How about 1,001 kilograms? There we go. Cancel integration. What are my untooled parts? Yeah, I want to tool these for sure. Brings the cost down to 123. All right. Success, and I think we'll have to call this an episode. In the next episode, we'll be doing probably multiple missions. We'll have our V2 rocket, and we'll have this guy to finish some contracts and hopefully get our funding up. It'll boost that subsidy way up, and that'll help my balance quite a bit. And then we can build up a little bit of funds to pay for rockets. But yeah, sweet. As always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next episode.